Hello and welcome back to Corgi Town, USA. I am Candy. In my lap is Chuckles, our spokescorg.
I am Catherine, and outside is Digby, along with my newly adopted daughter, who is an honorary corgi. She is a cattle dog, and her name is Calabria.
And she's a rescue and slowly getting used to the world.
She is slowly getting used to the world, and she is a rescue.
Yeah. So, and then of course we have the rest of the Corgi committee. That's Mortimer Barnabas, little Tito Bandito, the baby, and of course Booger, our senior lady. So we have a house full.
We have a house full of corgis.
We have shut them all except Chuckles out of the studio so that we can
Chuckles,
save our
if
equipment.
you misbehave, you too.
No, he's a good little lap sitter for all of our episodes. He likes being the spokescorg.
Yeah.
So if you're new here, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are here for you every week, all things corgi and pet parent lifestyle. And we have some really fun guests this season. We are now in our 6th season.
Unbelievable.
We have over 130 episodes.
That's a lot.
We've been busy.
We've been busy.
Keeps
us out of trouble and off street corners.
Does it? Some of us can speak for ourselves.
Yeah.
But we had a very special guest. If you follow TheSigningD on Instagram, if you don't, you should. Derek is very fluent in sign language and met his wife completely by accident. She happens to be, what's the term? It's not hard of hearing, but hearing impaired.
Hearing impaired.
And they met and he knew sign language and it was just a very sweet romance. And he has a corgi, Eowyn, who understands sign language, and that has made their family famous.
It has.
So if you have been here, Derek joined us earlier in the season. I said, please bring back Emily, your wife. We want to hear from the whole family and how it's affected everyone.
Yeah.
And kind of this new life that you have.
And this new life and
famous educators.
Yeah, they are famous educators. So I want to find out more about, hey, we also have in the world and in the community corgis who are hearing impaired. And what does it take to learn so that you can communicate with your corgi?
Sure. Yeah. So we're going to talk about all that.
Yep.
We're glad that you're here. Please like and subscribe if you have not already.
Yes.
If this is your first episode, I'm sure you'll definitely enjoy it. And we do have Derek and Emily both signing on camera. So if you're listening, we're also going to verbalize everything as best we can so that you can pick up the conversation. But if you're watching on YouTube, you'll also be able to see the conversation signing. Should we bring on our guests?
Absolutely.
Candy, shut your mouth and let your guests talk.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have today, it is Derek, welcome back. His wife, Emily, we're happy to have you. We also have their puppy, Mary. And of course, Eowyn, the signing corgi, and Strider, the cat. The whole family's joining us today.
Yeah. I want to interview the cat. I'm a cat person.
He is a weird boy too. So yeah.
Oh, well, he's a cat.
Yeah.
He's a cat. He's a weird boy. Well, and not only is Cat a cat person, but also likes Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
So you enjoy these names.
I'm a big fan. So
yeah. After the show, Cat, you, Emily, and we'll just chat. The next 3 hours. Lord of the Rings and cats. That's it.
And cats, yes. And I so you have Strider, the cat, and my motorcycle, because you name motorcycles and boats and cars, was Strider. Was Aragorn. So
nice.
Aragorn.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the name of the boat?
No, the name of my motorcycle. When I had a motorcycle, before you knew me, probably before you were born, my motorcycle's name was Aragorn.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I learned something about you today.
That's right.
You're even nerdier than I knew.
Oh, yeah. Way nerdier.
So in true Corgi Town USA fashion, we digress.
Yes.
But we want to hear, we'll start, Derek, if you can you were here before, and again, we encourage anyone to go back and view or listen to that episode. But please catch up our audience on sort of how you came to be here today.
So we met a while back. We were getting old, but
Speak for yourself.
And I had my corgi here, Eowyn, and she just immediately, like the second time we were in a long distance relationship, and the second time that she visited, Eowyn was like, oh, she's deaf. She's not responding to me. So I'm just going to start hitting the bed and doing everything tactile. And it was great. And we didn't think much of it. And then years and years later, I had no social media until 2 years ago. And that, yeah. So when we started doing social media, talking about our life, we got some views here and there. It was going really well, talking about concerts. And then one day I was just like, I wonder if people would be interested in knowing that our Corgi knows sign, because it was so normal to us.
Right.
And it was not normal to the whole world, we learned, because it just exploded. I mean, hundreds of millions of views. We were on World News Tonight. The Today Show Australia interviewed us. I just last week got an email from the casting table at Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show.
Heck yes.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So we can tell everybody, right? That can we tell everybody? Do I need to edit that out?
And we'll edit that out because I don't know if that's supposed to be that. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll have a chat with Fallon. We'll be fine. But yeah.
Because we're friends. We're chums.
Yeah. I'll get them. But so yeah, it was just this random video that we shot, and it just exploded. And I remember telling her, I was like, man, it's really not getting a lot of views. And then an hour later, it just went exponential. Yeah. And we got to make so many amazing connections with people. One was Ollie, the tripod Corgi, and that's how we met.
Friend? Yeah.
Yeah. Ollie.
Yeah, little Ollie with his little chicken wing.
Don't bark at that.
So that's my friend. It's a shout out. It's a Corgi shout out.
Yes.
Well, I love this. We're happy that you're here, and congratulations on some of these new opportunities. That is so exciting. And I think that if we don't have to edit that out, that's actually going to do well for the Fallon show, because guess what? All of Corgi Nation that knows that's happening are going to tune in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we can be like, yo, that's our friend.
Yo.
And it debuted here. It was on Corgi Town, USA.
That's right.
It was made.
That's right.
Thank you for the plug.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. And we're so excited to see the work that you guys are doing, and want to hear, and again, let's kind of go back. You told us on the last episode, but how you and Emily met, kind of go through that a little bit, and then we'll sort of segue into, we want to hear Emily's take on all this, like, the perspective coming into this kind of world of craziness.
So yeah, we met on Discord. We were just kind of chatting, and actually, well, what happened was I was talking about cooking a really fancy dinner, and this woman's stomach just jumped into my DMs quick.
Yeah, but PF, like food motivated grumpy women.
Food motivated grumpy women. Yeah, I'm talking about you and you.
We can relate.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. So we started talking, and then we started talking more and more and more. And then she warned me. She's like, I just need to warn you, I'm deaf. And I'm like, you're never going to believe this. But I already knew sign. I studied it in college because I was bored. I never became an interpreter. I needed language credits for my psychology degree. And then I quit psychology. But I needed those the languages, or the two language. Our cat just knocked something off.
Of course, it's the cat.
Yeah, it's gonna be. But and I was just bored, and I was like, oh, I'll just take every class that my college has to offer. And I liked the language enough, but I didn't have any plans on actually meeting real life deaf people. It's just like, I mean, why? Deaf people are scary. But here we are. So it all worked out.
Then you found out they can be very cute.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I meet a cute. Oh.
You guys sound married.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this story. And Emily, you did not believe him when he said I know sign at first, right?
It was just more of internal shock, just because, and it's more about like having experienced repeatedly that when people say they know something, it's just
My name D. It'll just be
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
basic.
kind of what I imagined that was. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. What's
Yeah.
wrong with it for now?
What you told me was that you were shocked that somebody so handsome and humble could also know so much. I think that was the exact words that you used.
No.
He takes every opportunity, doesn't he?
He
Emily?
does. Obviously, he does not know sign that well, because when you told him that, oh, that's nice that you know sign, maybe that'll give you a few extra points in the
Yes.
plus column, he just interpreted it as, that you never met someone so handsome that also knew sign. So yeah, Derek, you need to work on your sign language interpretations.
Oh goodness. Well, so tell us, we'd love to hear from Emily. Tell us about your journey so far, meeting Derek, and then of course he has this corgi. And please remind me, did you get married together, or did you have Mary coming in?
So we met and we started talking for a little bit, and we actually met in person before I moved halfway across the country.
Amazing.
And then it was about 6 months after I had moved that somebody told me that they found a dog that needed to be rescued. So I was like, you know what? I live home alone. It's just me. I wouldn't mind having company at home with me. So I met Mary, and I've had him since. But when I first got him, he was so terrified of everything. He wouldn't even look at me, like, wouldn't even be in the same room for me. So it took him about probably 3 months for him to finally connect and be like, oh, this is my person now. So now he never leaves my side ever.
Aw.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is so cute. And if I can interject real quick, Emily, thank you for saying it was about 3 months. And as a rescue foster, I have to tell new parents 3 days for them to just sort of know that this is a new place, and 3 weeks for them to start to understand your schedule, and 3 months, just like Emily said, 3 months to feel at home. So that was my PSA for this episode.
Yeah, the 3 is in rescue. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but thank you for giving Mary a home. We're very pro rescue here. Kat is a masochist and fosters puppies because the shelter is not a safe place for them.
Yeah.
And I've rescued several corgis.
We talked about it, but
We would have 50 dogs. Like it would just,
Yeah.
That happens a lot in rescue. You have to kind of learn to have that balance of knowing when to say no.
Okay, you want to know the God's honest truth? Yeah, there's a certain point, and I know it, when the puppies are ready to be spayed and neutered, because they just stink. And it's really easy to give them to their new forever homes when you've got to clean that mess up.
Oh my goodness. Well,
so go ahead and rescue. Go ahead and foster.
Yeah, there's your balance.
There's your balance. There's your balance.
There's your balance. So how do you feel, what do you think about all of this with Eowyn and Derek? I mean, I know you guys are doing some awesome work on educating and destigmatizing. Do we call deaf a handicap? Please kind of illuminate that for us, because I know the word handicap is it's a trigger word, right? Like,
it's a big question.
It is. I'm sorry. I'm going all reporter here.
I'm going to go back a little bit, and I'm just going to say that I get up in the morning and I still can't believe it's just like it's been a while, a few years since you started social media, then this whole adventure started. and we have so many stories to tell, so many people experiences.
We go to Disney and we get the front of the line like 25% of the time just because people will recognize us and be like, oh, we know you, come on. And we'll just skip these hour-long lines. And I'm like, that's when I really feel famous. It's not
Oh my.
it's not World News Tonight, it's the perks. But yeah.
Right.
No, I love it. Yeah, I love it. And I love that you're using this platform. Again, you're using this platform to educate everyone, right?
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So deaf and handicapped.
So I will say that the deaf community is so sincere at that. It's not that they don't recognize the limitations, it's just that they built a culture, a community where within that there's nothing to overcome because they already have everything they need there. But if you're outside of that, then that's where it's more show your limitations where you.
Can I add something real quick? So we went out to lunch with one of her family members that doesn't know sign, and the cat just whacked Eowyn. But we went into my barber, who I obviously have not seen in a while because my hair is. Yeah. But so we're with her family, and her family doesn't know sign. My barber is deaf, and we're all chatting, and he looks over at her family and he signs to us. He's completely voice off. He doesn't speak. Says she doesn't know any sign. We're like, nope, sorry. It's like, okay, well, let's just chat. And at that moment, I hesitate. I don't want to say like the word disability here, but just, entertaining it for a second. The person that had the limitation was not the three of us that were all chatting fluently. It was the one person that didn't know sign.
Yep.
It was an interesting kind of reversal on things.
Yeah.
Not being able to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when again, this is part awareness, right? Because you destigmatize. Even you, Derek, you said, oh, deaf people are scary. That came from you when you're entering this world and learning sign. And I think it's important this is more about differences, right? Like not necessarily handicap versus handy capable, but it's about differences and recognizing differences in others and destigmatizing that and educating. But I think when we talk about differences like that, we don't know often how to explain. Is something a limitation considered a handicap? Because we don't want to offend anyone and say you're handicapped, but also we want to honor those limitations and make sure that we're accommodating. Does that make sense? Sounds loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. we try to just, for our kind of rule of thumb is just listen to the people themselves. If a deaf person wants to say, I label myself as having a disability, great. If they say they don't, great. It does not.
Exactly. Everything I think, and doing grief counseling, totally different. However, everybody says, oh, I understand what you're going through. No, you don't. I understand. You kind of do, but you kind of don't because it's an individual person. Same thing with anyone with anything. Anyone with anything. I think you're absolutely right, Derek. Listen to the person.
Empathize.
And then on the opposite end, see, I'm old, right? I know I don't look it. I'm old. And
are you age impaired?
I'm age impaired. And so I get to say, listen, I was raised by nuns a long time ago. So if I screw up the terminology, just forgive me. I'm not being offensive. You will know when I'm being offensive.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Trying to train Kat to get the proper nomenclature over here.
It's very difficult. But I want to talk about Eowyn.
Yes, we are going to talk about Eowyn.
Okay, good.
But let's let Derek finish since you were interrupted.
I don't even know what I was saying before.
I think individualism, right? So it's not so much about speaking for the many.
Yeah.
So It's just more about like listening to each person and what their needs are and what their preferences are. Because, and I had this explained to me a few years ago where it's not our adults that has the limitations. It's society itself because there's no access that's given where like people in a wheelchair can't go out and do things because they didn't feel the right resources they need. If it wasn't for that, then it would be more.
And like the second floor of a house is not accessible to anyone until stairs are built. And it's kind of the same concept. Everything you can.
I love that, by the way. That is
Yeah.
a great way to put that.
Yeah. There are entire cities that weren't accessible until, infrastructure is built, and we are just kind of exposing that, hey, a little bit more additional infrastructure can make things more accessible for everyone. And then we could talk about this, because the things that make life accessible for the disabled people, like curb cuts. So those on a curb on a road, there's a cutaway so that wheelchairs can go down.
Yeah.
People use those for, carrying luggage or
Like
bikes or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of times accessibility devices or structures just kind of increase the quality of life for everyone.
They do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had Hammer, who had DM, and he was
Yes.
my special needs. We'll call him special needs Corgi. He used a wheelchair, and Booger's my senior, so she can walk, but not far. So we use strollers. And yeah, those cut-ins are very important for us. That
That's
gives
right.
us accessibility.
Yay.
Right. Yeah.
What do you want to know about Eowyn, Kat?
Oh, well, how did he recognize? So, Eowyn, how did you recognize that Emily couldn't hear you when you barked for your snacks and your dinner? And how did you figure out that you needed to approach your new mommy a new way?
Yes, how did you encroach your bossy Corgi nature on your new mom?
That's right.
Oh, hang on. All right. Eowyn, you got an answer.
Come on, Eowyn.
All right.
Here,
This
we
is a
give
question.
the Corgis microphones.
Yeah. Well, we can do it in sign. But
We don't know how she recognized
that
that.
it was when we were in a long distance relationship too. So it wasn't like you were here all the
Really?
time. It was just
literally maybe the second day that
Yeah.
you and I were here.
so I think she was just barking and barking and barking for your attention. That didn't work. She slammed the bed. You looked down and then she went, gotcha.
Got it.
So yeah, because at that time your side was facing the wall.
Yep.
And he annoyed her in the morning when she's barking. So I think he just wanted to see how I would respond because I was a new person in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A new opportunity for an earlier breakfast.
Yes.
That's pretty much all they are interested in.
That sounds like a Corgi.
It sounds like
Yeah.
a Corgi.
And how
Eowyn-
much can I get away with?
And how much can I get away with?
Yeah.
Eowyn, do you understand mommy and daddy when they are signing? Or are they signing and you're just wondering what they're saying? You only pick up a few words here and there.
She understands a lot. The biggest one, we had people accuse us, say that, oh, you just taught her the sign for dinner. And my response to that is, no Corgi owner, if they had a secret way to say dinner, would let their Corgi know. But
Exactly.
100%.
Seriously, people.
we learned quick that we were just talking about what we were going to do for our dinner, and when we're home alone, we're not speaking to, it's voice off. So
Right.
yeah, and I signed, what are we going to do for dinner?
And she responded.
She
and we were
barked.
kind of like,
No. And then we tested it and we just signed voice off dinner, and then bark. Yeah.
Oh, how hysterical.
I know. I love it. I love it. I think sign is important. The Corgi's like, hungry now. I just heard you say dinner. Don't you lie now.
I heard you say it, and I saw you say it.
Yeah,
So
don't hold back. It is
yeah,
time.
It's serious now. Serious stuff.
Oh, there's so much drool. That's also the sign for sign language, and that's her doing. Can we do sign language?
Oh my gosh, if you guys are listening out there,
Go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube. That is just the funniest, cutest, most.
Yeah, I think this is our favorite point of the show.
Yes. Yeah, this is our favorite point in the show. So Eowyn, do you help Emily? Do you help mommy? I don't want to say somehow here, because that's not really what I'm saying, but navigate. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the word. I'm old and I forget words too.
Or if there's something going on at home, I know when I like the smoke a line battery, smoke, because of how she reacted. That's pretty much it.
Well, that, and I do have a command for her. If I say, like, so if we're across the house with a deaf person, it's not as easy as a hearing person to get their attention. So if Emily is all the way over there and she has her back to me, my options are to get up, flash a light, or, that's about it. But if I have Eowyn next to me, I can say, go get Emily, and Eowyn will go over to her and tap her.
Excellent.
So smart.
So smart.
So scary smart.
Yep.
Eowyn's going to take over the world.
Yeah.
So Emily and Derek, do you encourage pet parents to do more sign with their animals? And do you think it is easy enough for someone looking for their new fur baby to adopt a hearing impaired dog and teach them sign?
I think that so even before I was really studying ASL, I was doing some kind of basic doggy sign language with Eowyn. All of my training was done through both verbal and hand sign kind of commands. So even just a hearing dog, I say, go for it. But they are so receptive to signing. Hearing dogs and deaf dogs, and it is not that hard we haven't trained a deaf dog, but I've done a lot of research, and we're basically in a position now where if there is a deaf Corgi anywhere, we're adopting. Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Good to know. I have a waiting list.
So good to teach different ways to communicate to your pet anyway. Because if there's a situation where you can't use voice or something, they can use you.
Yeah, that's very true. You can't use voice. You don't want to shout. Well, I always shout. You can't use voice. It is, and
in training, we, as a dog trainer, we use both verbal and physical cues, because there are a lot of different avenues in which that is useful.
Yep.
So that we always do both. I'll say teach the verbal cue, teach the physical cue. But one thing to note is that dogs respond to body language. They're energy animals.
Yeah.
And they're very receptive to body language. So often when we think our dogs are not paying attention, they are, and they're paying attention to our things like our breathing rate and how we're movement. If we're tense, they pick up on all of that. Like you said, very perceptive.
Yeah. Yeah. Digby, my son, especially, and that's when Candy gifted him to me, and I was going through grieving. He picked up on that, and to this day, if I am even slightly off, he picks up on it immediately, and he's right there at my side. So
he even alerts you when you're about to become ill. Like he's been on me. I wonder what's going on, and then you come down with a cold or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're amazing creatures.
Oh yeah.
But I love to hear what you're saying about looking to maybe adopt a hearing impaired dog. So we've had Caitlin on the show, maybe second season. There is unfortunately an epidemic of double merle breeding in many breeds, but corgis too, because the merle color has become very popular. And some of the breeders, or the ones, it's not the breeders so much as the backyard breeding
Yes.
and puppy mills that don't test for the merle gene, and they wind up with double merle litters. And most people are aware of this, but if you're not, that comes in kind with genes that can cause both deafness and blindness. And our friend Caitlin, she actually trains, she will rescue them from some of the Amish puppy mills,
Yeah.
because they don't do any genetic testing. That's technology. But she will rescue them and train them with scent work, because they're missing two of their senses, both sight and hearing. But there are some that can be one without the other.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to do some research on scent work. That sounds fascinating.
We talked about adopting a deaf dog at some point in the future, but
Yep.
right now we're kind of mapped out on pets. Sure.
Yeah. We would just get rid of yours, Mary. But no, I'm just kidding.
Mary.
Poor little
Yeah.
Mary. Mary gets extra treats, so she gets a pup cup today for that
Yes.
statement.
Yes, she does.
Poor little Mary. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Emily, it's so great to have you come join us. And Derek, it's great to have you come back. We love you guys.
And I think we may have caused trouble. I think after the recording and we turn the cameras off, there's going to be a very, and I'm using air quotes, people, loud discussion in sign about, what do you mean we're adopting 5 new corgis? And I don't know who's going to ask the question, but I see it happening.
I take no responsibility.
Neither do I.
No, it's seriously great to have you guys, though. We're going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been
Yes.
so kind to give us your time. But one final word, we would love to hear, what would you like everyone to know? What would you like the audience to know about your mission? What you guys are out here doing?
Need to take on that a little bit.
My biggest thing is just acting the same to everyone. One common thing that we get when we're out, people will be terrified of us. And a lot of the time, Emily will leave. People will start asking me questions because they are comfortable with me as a hearing guy. And then the deaf person will come back, the scary one. So my thing that I do in public, and this is awful, and I'm I'm not really that sorry.
No, I'm already loving it because of the prerequisite.
But when they act like that, I'll just tell Emily, and I'll voice it too, and I'll just say, hey, this person knows a little bit of sign language. They want to talk to you directly. And then I walk away. And now this person that's terrified of deaf people has to look up at this 6-foot-tall, terrifying deaf woman. Not terrified. She's not. She's fine. But and then it's just it's a great way. But the secret goal there is that through a little nervous laugh, now they're more comfortable.
Yeah.
So now a joke has been made, everyone's defenses are down, and we can talk like normal people, not have that tension, just kind of like hanging over us.
Sure. Yeah. No, I love that.
That is really cool. That is really cool. And I'm so glad you're using your psych degree.
Yeah. Only time I use it.
We summed it up right now. Just,
Yeah.
you know, just a little bit of an extra barrier with communication and everything, but we're just out here to be our lives.
Yeah, and when people get past the whole deaf thing, they realize that I'm the difficult one and she's the easy one. It all gets flipped around.
Yep. There you go.
Well, you guys are definitely our people.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, hugs and
Belly
rubs and ear scratches all around.
ear scritches and extra smackos. I think everybody has earned it today.
Yes.
But definitely that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll have to have you back on again. You're one of our favorite guests.
Yes.
Aw. I like this better than the Today Show Australia. This was more fun.
Corgi Town, USA.
And there you have it, folks. We got to take that little snippet and just put it all over social media. We
Get
like,
Derek in trouble.
yeah, we like this better. That no, they already aired on the Today
Yeah.
Show Australia. So
Oh boy.
better than the Today Show
Oh my goodness. Australia.
Australia.
All right. Well, thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a great rest of your evening. And
Bye.
we look forward to what you do next.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
You're just going to get us in all kinds of trouble. Get Derek in trouble.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Get all of Eowyn's family in trouble. No. But we are excited. I can't wait to see. I mean, there's so much here. And again, it's all in education.
Yeah,
Right.
it's all-
Destigmatizing. And then I love that there is a Corgi at the forefront to help us do that.
That's right. That's right. And you know, and the fact that, yeah, Derek said it's not difficult. They say the same thing about babies, that if you start to sign with them, they understand faster and easier than if you if you do language with them. And everyone is so impressed that you know, I speak to Digby in Italian. Well, all the dogs in Italy speak Italian. Just saying, it's not as difficult.
Chuckles
as,
speaks ball in every language.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not as difficult as we make it out to be. A lot of things are not as difficult as we make it out to be. So
Destigmatizing. Yeah.
destigmatizing. So let's destigmatize. Let's learn these things, and let's give forever homes to some of these pups that aren't like the majority of the pups.
Yeah. Always support rescue and
Yes.
special needs babies too. 100%. You can always reach out to us here at Corgi Town USA. I always have a running waiting list. Let me know your region. Reach out. Let us know what you're looking for. Corgi mix. I'm always happy to bridge that connection.
Yeah.
Because I have my finger on the pulse of the available puppies, and unfortunately, there are many in
Yes.
rescue.
That's right.
But we hope you liked this episode. Please follow the Signing D on Instagram and the socials so you can see more of Eowyn's adventures and support the family. Help destigmatize. We can all be part of this. And please like and subscribe. We will see you next week here at Corgi Town USA.
Bye.